Hey guys, this is Dan for BladeReviews.com, taking a look at the Boker Exskelibur 1. I'm going to give you a little knife review here, designed as, of course, as a companion review to my written review, but I'll be covering pretty much everything that I wrote there, so let's get into it. This was a collaboration with custom knife maker Mike Skellern, and Boker picked this model up, and I think it's one of their more interesting designs in the Boker Plus line, which is of course their value line, made up of knives that they have produced overseas in various Asian countries. And I really like this Skellern knife. It's cool. It's kind of a bigger knife, but of course, as you can see here, it's not a particularly threatening looking knife, so it could make for a good EDC blade, but to be honest, it doesn't get a ton of pocket time. Not that I don't like it, I just find that for my kind of EDC, it's just not a knife that I tend to use. But I really like it in my collection, so you know, your tastes and opinions may vary, but for me, you know, this is mainly a collectible, but is a cool knife for sure. The blade on this is just a simple, beautiful drop point design. It's got almost a full flat grind on there, and it's made of 440C stainless steel, which is a very popular steel in Europe. Often it's considered a lower end steel here in America, but to be honest, I really like 440C. As far as those value steels go, I like 440C over 8CR13 MOV and those Chinese steels. I think that 440C is a solid performer and really is quite nice in this price range. So it's got a 440C blade, and it's been given a nice finish here, almost a satin finish, and you can see that Boker Plus logo on there, and of course the Skellern logo. So it's cool. It's a very functional design, and I'm sure it appeals to a lot of people, so myself included. The handle is pretty interesting. It is made of G10 with a single liner, titanium liner at that, a kind of cool blue titanium, and it is not a pillar construction, but it does feature this cool red racing stripe looking thing, and it's just a neat little detail, part of the charm of this knife, I think. And the handle is well put together and very lightweight. I guess I forgot to give you guys the overall specs of this knife. Let's just do that real quick. The blade is 3 5/8 inches long, with an overall length of 8 inches, and a weight of 3.3 ounces. So pretty big and light. Anyhow, this handle, going back to it, is lightly textured here. I don't know if you can see this pattern, but it's got kind of a linear looking thing going on. Pretty cool. And it's all put together with some little screws here, so you can take this knife apart. You can see here that this knife was in fact made in China. See if we can get that to focus. And you know, for a Chinese knife, I think it's pretty well made. Many of you guys will have like the Tenacious, Persistence, etc., those knives from Spyderco, and you know, the build quality is not bad. I think this is perhaps even a little better than that. So just overall fit and finish, materials, construction, it's quite nice. So let's take a look at the pocket clip, which is kind of a gray-blue titanium here. Let's close this. And nice little clip, very functional. 3 screws, tip up or tip down carry, and I believe it's just, yep, it's just the one side. So tip up or tip down, and attractive gray-blue clip. I like the look of it, and it's a little stiff, but it works pretty well. No complaints. As I said, I don't carry this knife too much, but Moving on to the ergonomics here. Open that back up. You can see it's got a very shallow finger choil and not much in the way of a thumb ramp. You do have some jimping, which works, and works pretty well actually. It is fairly aggressive jimping and gives you a nice lock on this blade. I think the ergonomics are good. All in all, it is a comfortable knife, and although it can be hard to pick up here because it's so shiny, it is pretty and it's well finished. And the ergonomics are good. Very nice. Let's talk about the deployment real quick. There's two Exskeliburs. With the Exskelibur 2, there's like a nail nick along the top here. With the Exskelibur 1, you've got to use this flipper, and with a little practice, you can actually shoot this knife out surprisingly fast. So I'm a little out of practice with it, and I'm generally kind of goofy to begin with, especially when I'm wrangling a tripod and stuff here, but you can get this thing presenting the blade pretty fast with a little bit of practice, and it's a fun knife to play around with. Lockup is good with that titanium liner lock. As you can see here, locks up pretty early, like a mid lockup, which is good. And it should be interesting to see, it is titanium, so this might wear a little bit faster than a stainless steel liner. So that's something to consider if you're really going to use this knife. But in my experience, it's held up well. And I've had this knife for a while, and I've opened and closed it a lot, so it's held up pretty well. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much it for the Boker Exskelibur 1. I hope you enjoyed the review. It really is a nice knife. I recommend it if you can find it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back soon with another knife review. Bye bye.